Welcome to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. We want to bring down the curtain on the 100 Bob challenge that we have been conducting for our sister Maureen. And in these 2 remaining days, because today is the penultimate day, we are handing over the money tomorrow. We have now reduced it to 50 Bob challenge. This is the last mile that we're doing. For those who are watching us for the first time, Maureen is one of our members in this channel, a Kenyan who was working in Lebanon as a domestic worker. You know, we all try and look for greener pastures. Unfortunately, she fell into the cruel hands of one of the very beasts. Some bosses are very beast, and she became a victim of physical and psychological torture. Maureen was beaten, tortured, and persecuted there. Fortunately, she landed back into the country alive, and we thank God for that. But she was really physically injured. She's got pelvic fracture. You can see the stitches there. She's really suffering. We got a doctor who volunteered and has been working on the psychological torture. The doctor is called Dr. Musembi, who has been counseling Maureen. And I like the progress on the psychological part of it, because one thing, as I said yesterday, Maureen has finally realized that it was by the grace of God that she flew back into the country alive. So there's been that progress, but the physical pain is still there. We've been trying to conduct this challenge so that our members help Maureen get back to the hospital, because she's now grounded, physically in pain, and was going through psychological torture. We've made tremendous efforts. I remember those who pledged, and they requested me to extend this challenge by about some days, because we were supposed to hand over the money on Friday. That didn't happen because they requested that we extend it. So within those 2 days that are remaining, that is only today, in fact not 2 days, today, Sunday, and tomorrow. If you really are touched and you want to be part of this humanitarian cause, please send your 50 bob or anything that you have, so that we can top up. Tomorrow I will do the final tallying, hand over the money, and of course have some evidence on it. For those who have sacrificed the very little that they have, may God replenish your account continually. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, the political tidings in Kenya keep on changing by the day. And if you've realized, many political pundits have now set their cameras in Mount Kenya. Why Mount Kenya? In fact, someone was asking me, why is it that many political bloggers and analysts want to focus so much in Mount Kenya? The answer is very simple. It was in Mount Kenya where we sang Hatupangwingwi. It was in Mount Kenya where we had the immediate former President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, Ruto's predecessor, who begged them to look with a fine-tooth comb and try and understand why they were voting, who they were voting for, because he told them sooner or later they were going to regret if they didn't choose wisely. It was in Mount Kenya where Rigathi Gachagua, the general, led their supporters in condemning their Udhamaki, their son, and they voted against his choice. After the elections, Rigathi Gachagua declared that they were the major shareholders, the people from Mount Kenya and the people from Rift Valley. But today, in the second year after they took oath of office, Rigathi Gachagua is crying. He regrets everything that he has done. They are now crying about the taxes because they passed some laws. And Rigathi Gachagua was filmed begging people to support their bid, to support them in 2027. You see, One would imagine that when you get to power on a silver platter and on a golden platform where you are promising people heaven, then in the second year, you are supposed to tell people what you have done, the challenges that you are facing, and where your projection. That is what I would expect Rigathi to tell their people. But I watched this clip where Rigathi Gachagua is begging and campaigning for 2027, yet they have not, completed or fulfilled even an iota of a promise that they gave to their people. I want us to look at this speech so that we can dissect it to see what exactly it means. Before we watch this, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching for the first time, kindly take a second or two and subscribe to our channel, then click the notification bell. We are requesting to grow as a family, and the channel can only grow by your unwavering support. Click the notification bell so that YouTube will notify you whenever we do a video like this. Help us share our videos, and please give this particular video a thumbs up, because when you do that, it is recommended to many people. I want to confess that without your support, we wouldn't have been where we are. There are those people who we started with from scratches, and they have seen us grow together. I want to thank you in a very special way. Kindly take a look at Rigathi Gachagua.
Governor, weka watu hebu pamoja, kwa sababu hakuna maendeleo inaweza patikana bila sisi kuwa kitu kimoja. Uchaguzi uliisha, governor ni moja, deputy ni moja, senator ni moja, huyu Mundigi ambaye anaonekana ma MP wako, MCAs wako. Sisi tufanye kazi jameni, tuungane zote, tuongee na sauti moja. Na nikiwa hapa, hebu nirudie vile nimesema, sisi watu ya Mlima Kenya, Gikuyu, Embu and Meru, tunaongea lugha ngapi? Sisi ni kitu kimoja. Na sisi watu ya Gema, watu ya Mlima Kenya, nguvu yetu ni umoja wetu. Na sisi tukiwa kitu kimoja, tukiongea lugha moja, tunakuwa na nguvu katika siasa ya Kenya, katika mambo ya uchumi, katika mambo ya maendeleo. Lakini tukikubali kugawanywa, tuanze kuongea hawa pande hii, wengine pande hii, tutapotea kama jamii. Nyinyi mnajua siku tulikuwa hatujaerevuka, tulikuwa tunagawanya, tukajipata kwa upinzani nje ya serikali. Mwaka wa 1992 tulikuwa hatujachanuka. Watu ya Nyeri, watu ya Kirinyaga, watu ya Embu, watu ya Meru, watu ya Tharaka Nithi na watu ya Laikipia na watu ya Nyandarua, tukasimama na mzee Mwai Kibaki. Kweli ama uongo? Watu ya Murang'a, Kiambu, Nairobi wakasimama na Kenneth Matiba. Tukashindwa na Moi. Tulishindwa hatu kushindwa. Tukakaa nje mwaka 5. Tukaumia. Mwaka wa 1997 tukarudia hiyo makosa, hatukuwa tumerevuka. Sisi pande hii Nyeri, Embu, Meru tukakufa na mzee wetu Kibaki. Watu ya huko wengine wakaenda kwa Charity Ngilu, wengine wakapoteza kura yao kwa Matiba, moja akapitia katikati. Tukaumia miaka ingine 5. Mwaka wa 2002 tukaerevuka. Zote watu ya Mlima Kenya tukaunga Mwai Kibaki mkono, akapita na kura nzuri. Kweli ama uongo? Tangu siku hiyo sisi tumekuwa watu wamerevuka. Mwaka wa 2007 tena tukaungana Mwai Kibaki. 2013 tukaungana Uhuru Kenyatta. 2017 tukaungana Uhuru Kenyatta. 2022 tukaungana William Ruto. Sisi tunataka tukienda hapo mbele tutamchagua tena William Ruto kama tumeungana kama watu ya mlima. Negwadwa itu. Juzi nimeona vijana wamepotea, wanatumiwa na watu na maadui ya jamii hii. Wanakuja kugawanya sisi. Ati watu ya Murang'a pande hii, ati watu ya Nyeri pande hii. Hii ni wakati watu ya Kiambu, watu wa Embu. Hiyo ni njia ya kutugawanya, ndio tukue hatuna nguvu katika siasa ya Kenya. Na mimi nataka kumwambia watu wangu nikiwa kiongozi wenu hapa mlima, nitafanya kila juhudi kuhakikisha hakuna kamutu hata moja anaweza gawanya watu ya Mount Kenya. Tutaongea sauti moja.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you listened carefully, Rigathi Gachagua is on a begging spree. He is beseeching the Gema community, the Gikuyu, the Embu, Mbeere, Meru, and all that. And the reason why Rigathi Gachagua should be begging his backyard to support them, yet 2027 is far away, is something that baffles me. And this is what it means. Number one, the mountain has rejected UDA. UDA came to power on promises and lies and fallacies and accusations that Uhuru Kenyatta messed up our economy. Uhuru Kenyatta ditched them after they voted for him. They voted singing, as I will repeat, Sipangwingwi, and they thought that the UDA government was the second best thing that came after oxygen. Immediately William Ruto got to power, they passed laws that have hiked the prices of basic commodities, levies on fuel, and now they are crying about the levies on avocado. Even Rigathi Gachagua himself has now made a U-turn and is saying, I will talk to William Ruto. The mountain is realizing that they were hoodwinked, they were cheated, and they were deceived. So they have rejected. You've seen the heckling everywhere. If William Ruto is not being held, his henchmen are being heckled. If it's not being heckled, it is his henchmen. And Rigathi Gachagua one day became very furious and was saying heckling is a product of the ODM. Yet we know that the mountain is tired. Number two, Rigathi Gachagua is afraid of the enemies from within and without. There have been speculations that, of course, we've seen William Ruto is trying to seduce other voters. In 2027, William Ruto is not very sure of the mountain votes, and so he's trying to lure especially Raila strongholds in Luo Nyanza, in Western, in the coast, and he's praying that if these people will accept to follow him, I'm telling you, he will drop Rigathi Gachagua as hot potato. Rigathi Gachagua, for the very, very short period he's been in politics, he has realized and he understands that politics is about betrayal. He knows what happened between Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto in the last regime. He's getting prepared that should William Ruto ditch him, what will be his plan B? Plan B is to unite Mount Kenya together. But he understands that apart from uniting Mount Kenya, there are people like Ndindi Nyoro who are also preparing to give him a run for his money. Ndindi Nyoro had said, and I remember some of the very close allies of Ndindi Nyoro just said, it is high time we now consider someone from Buranga. And Moses Kuria also said that maybe it is time for Kiambu. We can now divide Mount Kenya. And Rigathi Gachagua feels the heat because he understands that Ndindi Nyoro is actually a checkmate. William Ruto placed him strategically to ensure that he checkmates Rigathi Gachagua. And that's why Rigathi Gachagua is crying out that some young people are being used to divide Mount Kenya. Rigathi Gachagua wants a united Mount Kenya rallying behind him. But he understands that there are threats from within. As I've said, Ndindi Nyoro, Kithure Kindiki, these are people who by 2027 will be agitated and they will be given impetus. And this will be a scheme from William Ruto to ensure that Rigathi Gachagua does not feel, entitled. So Rigathi Gachagua is crying foul because of the enemies. The enemies from without are people like Mudavadi, because he knows very well that Uhuru can run to them. This cry is genuine, by the way, because Rigathi knows very well that he was not the first choice in 2022. Actually, Kithure Kindiki defeated him, and he knows that he has not captured the attention of Mount Kenya. Whenever he speaks about something, even alcohol, they keep on dying. And he knows that this is very dangerous for him. This is also about the speculations about a Ruto Raila working deal. If there is something that is causing Rigathi Gachagua sleepless nights, is the possibility of William Ruto and Raila Odinga working together. Because if at all, and God forbid, they agree to work together and Ruto decides to venture into Raila's camp and they agree to support him, that will be the end of Rigathi Gachagua. This is what happened between Uhuru Kenyatta and William Samoei Ruto. And Uhuru campaigned for Raila Odinga, ditching his friend Ruto, whom they worked with, Uhuruto, Kumira. Luckily enough, William Ruto is not like Rigathi Gachagua. William Ruto has been in politics, worked with Moi, worked with Kibaki, worked with, Raila, they have worked with Uhuru Kenyatta, and he knows how to maneuver his way. For Rigathi Gachagua, Rigathi is still green in politics. If you've seen the way Rigathi Gachagua is behaving, he commands things. He still thinks like the former administrative officials in the Moi regime, the DEO and the DCs who believed in yes sir and commanding things. He's not as smart as William Ruto. And so because let me just give you an example. William Ruto has set him against his own people. Ndindi Nyoro is there. He does not see eye to eye with Uhuru Kenyatta because he was used. Instead of embracing Uhuru Kenyatta, immediately they took over power. They took, they invaded his northern farm. So he's an enemy within his friends, within his brothers. He's an enemy to the Kamba votes because he's been speaking ill of Kalonzo. He's an enemy in Western because he knows very well Mudavadi is his enemy. One day he said Mudavadi never brought anything to the party and so he does not deserve any reward. He's an enemy to the lowland. He has always said he would deal with Raila, especially when Raila led the street demonstration. So no one will support him even if you ditch him. And so he knows very well that should Raila work with William Ruto, it will be an end game for him. He will be politically annihilated. That will be the end of Rigathi Gachagua, especially now that he's not even in full control of Mount Kenya. I remember one day he was told that William Ruto never passed through anyone when he was campaigning in the mountain. Kimani Ngunjiri made it very clearly that William Ruto enticed himself to the people and dared himself to the people, and they voted for him not because of any other leader from the mountain, but because of his charisma. The last one, this is about Uhuru Kenyatta's influence. Uhuru Kenyatta has remained silent, and with that, people have realized that he was being maligned for nothing. Today, if you ask any Kenya Kwanza leader, is there any project that William Ruto has launched, one that he has initiated, an UDA project? I don't think there is even an iota of a project. He keeps on launching and relaunching what Uhuru had initiated and relaunched. And so, and there has been this talk that anytime the Ruto administration goes to Central, they are given delicacies, nyama, meat and rice. They pray. They ask to feast. The other time, Rigathi Gachagua was saying that they want to do a President Kibaki's anniversary, and is requesting that they go there and they feast. So it is about feasting. There are no tangible projects that they want to talk about, and people have realized that Uhuru was right. Uhuru actually wanted the people. He told them, be very careful about electing William Ruto. We have worked with him. I understand him. It is not going to be, he does not mean well. It is not going to be well with you if you dare elect my deputy. They did that and now they are regretting. They are actually now, going back to Uhuru Kenyatta. Some of them are saying we are sorry. So Uhuru's prophecy is haunting him, and together with people like Gathoni Mushomba, the Githunguri member of parliament, who rejected the housing levy that has been bedeviling, it's one of the problems bedeviling Mount Kenya, who rejected the Finance Bill 2023 that contained the taxes that is now haunting Mount Kenya. Rigathi Gachagua knows he's finished because Uhuru still remains the spokesperson. Why? If you go to Gathoni Mushomba's timeline, she's saying you can only be a leader if you are ready to take a bullet for them. And they've been mentioning what Uhuru did to them in 2007 when he rallied the support to go and revenge. It's a very sad story that we don't want to look into. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is why Rigathi Gachagua is crying. I thought he would be telling people this is what we have done, but he has started early campaigns. Kimemramba. And I want to end it on that note. Thank you for watching. Kindly don't forget to subscribe, click the notification bell, and share our videos.